Hey, what's up everyone? JJ here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to look at the new CMF series that launched on September 1st, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. If you did not know, the CMF series come with 12 unique minifigures. I'm not super knowledgeable when it comes to Across the Spider-Verse. I'm more of like a Batman or X-Men kind of guy, but these are really neat minifigures with lots of cool printed pieces and dual molding. If you did not know, I know these come in blind boxes. They used to come in bags, you kind of feel the pieces. But now there's multiple different apps for it. If you scan the barcode, the app will tell you what character is inside. So you don't have to buy 100 to get the 12 unique characters. In this video, we will take a look at each of these characters, and I will talk a lot specifically about some of the pieces that I think make some of these really cool figures. Let's jump right in now and take a look at some of these CMF minifigures. As I said, each minifigure comes in one of these cardboard boxes. This series comes with a orange translucent base plate, which I quite like as it's a little bit different. And then of course we get a kind of a checklist of all the characters in the series. And here on the back of the checklist, it does give us instructions for some of the more complicated builds for some of the minifigures. But for the most part, you can kind of just look at the picture and figure out how to put each of the figures together. First up here, we see Spider-Man. This is, of course, Miles Morales, the only Spider-Man at the start of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This minifigure comes with a spider, which I think works well. And I really like that this figure comes with two headpieces. Of course, we see the black Spider-Man mask, as well as just Miles Morales' traditional face. Miles also has an alternate face print, a little bit more angry, which I think works quite well. And I really like this back torso printing here with the spider. In general, I think this is a very detailed minifigure. I really like the design there on the arms, as well as the printing, kind of how it carries over here on the torso. The light's not picking up great, but there is some printing here on the legs in that dark blue color as well. So all in all, I think this is a good Spider-Man Miles Morales minifigure. Next up is Spider-Punk, and this minifigure really surprised me in a lot of ways. I didn't realize originally from the box art that there was kind of this alternate face and a hairpiece, and I think that works really well for this character. And I also really like the Spider-Man mask there with kind of the silver mohawk. Of course, we see an alternate facial expression, and I really like the detailing of the silver on both sides of the face print. And there's a lot of really cool detailing here on the back of the torso. But all in all, this minifigure has really great printing on the torso, over there on the arms, as well as the legs. And I also like all the different detailings here on the guitar. I would say of all the LEGO CMF series that I have, seems to be the most detailed in terms of printing on both the legs and arms for different minifigures in the series. Next up is Prowler, and this minifigure has a really cool accessory for the kind of the hands for those big fists. And I also really like the use of that pink, I wouldn't call it a cape, I guess, collared piece. And of course, we see an alternate head print, which is going to be for kind of the helmet that goes on top, as well as that disc there. And here I want to show you the back torso printing. And we're going to put that collar down so you can see the hairpiece, which I think looks really cool. I do not have this hairpiece in my collection, so this was a cool inclusion. And the helmet goes right over the head, so there are not two heads for this. Rather, this kind of helmet kind of connects that similar hairpiece with the helmet build. And it was cool to kind of get both of those as options here with this minifigure. Again, we see great detailing here on the arms, as well as side printing there on the legs. And then both the torso and legs have quite a bit of printing as well, all the way from the shoes to the different designs here on the torso. Next up is Gwen Stacy. I really like the hairpiece used here for Gwen. It's obviously the side blonde hair, but also with kind of those pink tips there at the end. I really like the printing here on the torso as well as the legs. And again, we can see those kind of the dual coloring, and you can see there's some detailing there on the kind of side of her boots as well. And we also see some side arm printing. Here we can see the hairpiece from the back, as well as the printing there on the back torso, as well as the dual molding there for the legs. And here we can see her back face printing, which is a bit of a scowl, which looks nice. And of course, we also get the alternate headpiece, as well as hood for Spider-Gwen. And I think this works really well as a minifigure, but I like the fact that they included both, her normal face and hairpiece, as well as the Spider-Gwen mask. Next up is Spider-Man 2099. I will say I really like the face print. I think that's a really cool facial expression, and that's one of just my favorite hair pieces as well. I think for this minifigure, I really like the printing. Again, we're going to see some detailing here on the arms, and I like how the printing continues there from the torso to the legs. For me, I haven't seen something like this in my LEGO collection. His cape is actually made from a hard plastic. You essentially have to kind of punch it out from a square piece with have the cape on it. And looking through, we can kind of see some of the back torso printing. However, you can take off the cape and see the detailing there on the back torso. And there's a really, again, awesome alternate face print. I really like this minifigure's face prints. And of course, he also comes with a Spider-Man mask as well. I really think that they made this series really complete by not only including the mask, but also the different faces and hair pieces for the characters. You know, like I said, even though I'm not huge into Spider-Man or Across the Spider-Verse, these minifigures are really stand out with lots of detail. And this Spider-Man also comes with a micro figure, which I took off the base so that you could see kind of the white as well as some of the pink embellishments. The minifigure only comes with one, but I think this is the extra piece, having two of them. And since this is such a unique micro figure, I'm definitely going to keep it displayed here with this minifigure. Next up is Spider-Man India. Of course, we have to talk about this awesome cat figure with the spider mask. I absolutely love that. This minifigure also comes with a teacup as well as a Spider-Man mask. And I really like the detailing for this minifigure, again, on the legs, the torso, and then we're also gonna see some really detailed arm printing here. I also really like the hairpiece for this minifigure. This is another one I did not have in my collection. And here we can see the alternate facial expression, and I do want to point out that I also really like kind of the headband that we see on both sides of the face print for this headpiece. And of course, here we can see him with the Spider-Man mask. Like I said, these minifigures really could have just been this, right? They didn't have to include the additional head and hair piece, but I think it was really nice that they went that extra mile to include those pieces just because it makes the characters really stand out. And, you know, really encourages you to buy multiples. You know, if you want to display one with the mask, one without the mask, that gives you the opportunity to buy more than one of some of these characters. And kind of just for reference, a lot of these characters have kind of the mask as well as the alternate face. About, 7 of them, which is over half. Next up is Cyborg Spider-Woman. This is actually my least favorite minifigure in this series. And I know many people, this is one of their favorites. So I know that's maybe an unpopular opinion. But as someone that doesn't really follow Spider-Man, the way I plan to display these in my LEGO City, kind of around the Daily Bugle, this character will stand out. You know, I like the ability to kind of have the human faces without the Spider-Man mask for many other characters, but you don't get that option here. However, I don't want to say this, I mean, this character has great detailing, so it isn't that it lacks the detailing as some of the other figures. Rather, this could really only be displayed as a cyborg version of Spider-Man, and so I just don't have a ton of uses for that in my LEGO City. And next up is Sun Spider, and this minifigure has a lot of really cool features. Obviously, there's great printing here on the torso and legs. I love the vest there on the torso, and we're going to see also some great side arm printing. But for me, the standout feature is going to be this really cool piece for the hat, as well as the crutches that this minifigure is going to use to walk around. I think this is just a really neat inclusion, and these crutches are a piece I could see myself kind of using for different minifigures in my LEGO City. Next up is Spider-Byte, and I really like this minifigure, the bright pink, purple, and blue. I really like the blue face as well as the blue hands. You know, as I customize various X-Men characters, it's always good to get blue, especially for like Mystique. And I really like the translucent legs. It's like a light translucent pink there for the legs. This minifigure will have a scared alternate facial expression, and here we can see kind of the printing here on the back of the torso, and there's also going to be quite a bit of side arm printing. She will have 2 hair pieces. One will be kind of the helmet. I like how the hair is still visible with that helmet, and then of course the dark blue buns. And so she looks really good here. In general, like I said, some of these, you know, new sculpted pieces just look really good with the LEGO Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse minifigures. Next up is Spider-Man and Mayday Parker. I actually got 2 of these because I really wanted multiple versions of that baby. And so I can, instead of flipping them around, we kind of look at the different features. Of course, you know, including that baby spider character is amazing, really fun. You can see the 2 face prints for the character here, kind of a shocked or concerned look and then a happy face. I really like the torso and leg printing there with that pink robe overneath, like over top the Spider-Man outfit. All in all, I just think it looks really good. And while we don't see a ton of printing here on the back of the torso or on the arms, we can see the white boots is kind of dual molded there on the legs, which looks really good. And that piece to hold the baby on his stomach works really, really well. And here we can see the baby kind of outside of that, and the baby looks really, really nice. Next, we see Web-Slinger. This is a really fun kind of cowboy version of Spider-Man, and I really like all the detailing. Of course, you know, this horse with the spider mask is great, but also all the printing they have there for both the bandana, the side satchel cape, as well as the lasso look really good. And here I move the cape so that you can see all the detailing here on both the torso as well as the legs. I really like that the arms are a different shade of yellow from the torso. I think that always looks good on a minifigure. And I love the dual molding here for the legs. We don't see a ton of detailing on the back torso printing. However, I want to give you kind of a view of what this cape looks like, which looks quite nice. And there's also not an alternate face print, but you know, this character comes with a lot of accessories. So I think it works out and is still even with some of the others. And last up is Werewolf Spider-Man. This actually is one of my favorite minifigures from this series, even though it definitely comes with the least amount of stuff. This is it, you know, you don't even get a bone or anything. But why I like this so much is I just love the detailing. So here on the one side of the arm, we can see kind of the fur. And then if you look on the other side of the arm, it includes kind of the ripping of the, you know, Spider-Man costume. And that detailing is similar to, if you look here at the leg printing on both sides as well. It's just different, and I just think this character looks so cool with the Spider-Man mask there on the werewolf headpiece. Similarly, we see a lot of really cool printing on the back torso here as well, and of course this minifigure includes a tail. Now, all in all, I do really like the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse minifigures. I wish I knew more about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because these figures are so strong. This actually is encouraging me to explore the Spider-Verse just a little bit more. Would I prefer this to have been Batman villains and or X-Men characters? Absolutely, just because those are two IPs that I'm really interested in. But there's no denying that these are really fun minifigures. I was back and forth if I was going to buy them or not, just because I'm not super into Across the Spider-Verse. But looking at some images, I made the decision just to pick them up when I was at the LEGO store, and I'm really happy I did because these pieces are really cool. So even if you're not a Spider-Man fan necessarily, I think these characters have a lot of value in adding it to a LEGO city or in kind of a Marvel or Spider-Man display. In the comments down below, let me know what some of your favorite minifigures are from this CMF series, and feel free to let me know a little bit of the backstory of some of your favorite characters, because I am interested in learning more about these. Like I said, for me, I really like the Werewolf Spider-Man, even though, you know, it lacks a bit of detailing. I like Spider-Man India, especially with the inclusion there of the cat. You know, Spider-Gwen or Gwen Stacy looks good, but I really love this Spider-Man 2099 because of his cool face prints. And then Spider-Punk. Those are some of my favorites. All in all, it's a strong series, and I definitely recommend picking these up. But keep me posted in the comments down below what insights I should have for some of these characters. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to stay updated with LEGO leaks, rumors, news, and reviews, hit the subscribe button down below. But I will see you all next time. Thank you.